Good evening, good morning, depending on where you are watching from. Welcome to Fat Talks, yet another episode that comes to you every Thursday at 4 p.m. You are welcome to tune in on our X Spaces, Fat Talks, and also if you're watching on Smart 24 TV, you're very welcome. Today we have a special guest, but before we get there, I'd like to welcome our people who are on X Spaces. If you're on X Spaces, we'll ask you to please chat us up. Let us know where you are listening in from. Let us know what your expectation is today. Let us know so that we are able to hear and share in this discussion today. Today at Fat Talks, we are discussing matters of spiritual health. At Fat Talks, we host leaders of all various aspects from all our other industries, various industries. And today we have a special guest whom we shall introduce eventually. But I just want to let you know that at Fat Talks, we are hosting various leaders in different various industries. And today we want to speak about spiritual health. Our theme at Fat Talks this month is Health Matters. But also, we did not want to ignore the aspect of our spiritual lives. So today, in particular, we want to discuss parenting and also praying through children and ensuring that they reach their destiny through their spiritual lives. So you will join me, and also you join us if you're on X Spaces. Let me just check to confirm. If you're on X Spaces, please notify us where you're listening to us, and also chat us up and let us know. Our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, on Smart TV, if you're watching, and also on X Spaces, I'll introduce her shortly. But she is one of a kind. She's an author of 2 books. Last year she released 2 books at a go. She's an author. We call her Mama Pillars, but she's a founder of what she'll tell us more about, but it's a Pillars offering that she will need to tell us. But she's a mama, she's a leader, she has done work with various industries, SMS1, to mention but a few. And yes, I'll actually let you meet her. Madam Charity Madam Charity is our guest today to have this conversation with, as we get into how we can actually pray for our children to their destinies. Welcome, Madam Charity.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Very happy.
How are you?
Very happy.
Very
yes.
Happy.
The word happy has been consistent since the year began.
Very nice.
The response has been happy. How are you? Happy.
Happy.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you on our show.
Yes.
Yeah, very privileged to be hosting you. And just for your information and anyone else on either on X Spaces or Smart 24 TV, at Fat Talks, it is a program that is part of our Fidelis Institute.
Yeah.
It is a leadership institute where we train leaders to be based on the values of faithful, available, and teachable. What the acronym that we are referring to as FAT. So for you to be here, we're considering you as a fat talker.
A fat talker. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, please.
It's an honor for me to be here.
Yeah.
I'm sure you want me to tell your viewers who I am.
Well, yeah, sure.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank Fiona Wall, who I know is behind Fidelis and also is behind Fat Talks. I was one of those people who promoted her when she was coming in as president 2 years ago under the acronym FAT. And so I am a big FAT follower, faithful, available, and teachable. So Fiona Wall, well done. And well done to the people that are behind Fidelis. Who am I? My name is Charity Mbabazi-Byarugaba. I'm a wife for the last 20 years. We celebrated 20 years in January. I'm a mother of 4, 3 teenagers, and 1 10-year-old this year. I am an author of 2 books. which came out this year. It looks like this year has moved so fast, you think it's last year. Yes, so my 2 books are all supposed to be supporting women to become the best versions of themselves. One of them specifically is for motherhood. So The Scent of a Mother, which is why I think you invited me here. The second book is Smiling in the Mirror. As the viewers will know that I like to smile, I like to laugh. I mean, it's not so bad. Okay. You're alive. The fact that you're alive is one reason for you to keep living. So I'm one of those people who says smile all the time, no matter what has been happening behind the scenes, you know. Yeah. The other thing is that I'm a marketer by profession, so I've been looking after brands for over 20 years. In multimedia, in education, in Unilever, household items, TV. I did a lot of TV. I worked for telecoms. Yeah, so that's who I am. I love brands. And so the space I'm in now, Pillars in the Palace, is a home of personal and corporate brands. So what we do is we build personal brands and we build corporate brands, and we do it through 5 pillars. The pillar of health, the pillar of prayer, the pillar of career, finance, and parenting. So today I think we are going to be talking about parenting. Yeah, parenting pillar, prayer pillar. We'll be in between parenting, prayer, health. Spiritual health is also health. So we'll be in between the 3 pillars. That's for sure. Over to you. Beautiful. That's me.
That's our host, our guest today. Thank you so much. It's beautiful to have you. And
thank you.
We can't wait to dig into that conversation.
Looking forward.
Yeah, me too. Before we get there, just also let the viewers on Smart TV and also on X-Spaces know at Fidelis. Yeah. The reason why we're actually also looking at this topic is, of course, you're looking at the matters of a parent, kids are at school, children are at school. Perhaps some have had already exams or others are having holidays. But we didn't want to ignore the aspect of the children are the leaders of tomorrow. And at Fidelis, we actually do training for children from the ages of 8 up to 17. And during the holidays, actually, we have planned a 2-day training for children in that way. Okay. And so it matters to us that we ensure that we empower parents to be able to be, as much as we are training them in the physical leadership aspects of it all, the spiritual also, we need to know that as much as we train, our role as parents should be able to beef our children up in the spiritual matters so that they're able to reach the heights that God has called them to do. True. I mean, leadership is a gift from God for those that believe and are religious in the matters. It's a gift from God. Yeah. So as you train our children, it's also important for you to know that at Fat Talks or at Fidelis, it matters that as why we're training the spiritual matter of a child, and you as a parent can partner with us to be able to develop and have a great product that God has designed this child to be. So it's important a topic for me today to be sharing with you. And of course, as our guest today, I want to start from the element of what really inspired you to build this book, The Scent of a Mother. What inspired me? Yeah. Okay. Before I go to what inspired me, I want to just put another block to what you said. Sure. That the spiritual matters of our children are very, very important. And not only our children, but even us. Because you said leadership is a gift from God. But I also think that leadership can be nurtured. Yes, leadership can be nurtured. So spaces like this are very, very important, both for the people who are watching, listening, and those who will watch in the future. Back to what inspired me to write the book. So what inspired me to write this book, The Scent of a Mother, is because 20 years ago when I was becoming a mother, there wasn't as much content on motherhood. It was there. It was online. It was in books, but really the ones that I could find were written by people who are not Ugandan. Most of them were not African in nature. So much as they were speaking to the same thing that I wanted to know, I felt like they lacked the local touch. So that is what inspired me. But the other thing is that over 20 years I had learned a lot of things which I thought I could share with another mother, both upcoming moms, but also fellow mothers who resonate. I mean, I like the fact that my mom keeps telling me, at this point, yes, you are very right on this point. You know, there are certain stories she reads and it's like, yes, you brought out that point very well. And so it's one of those things where you say iron sharpens iron. So I felt that I could contribute. I would like also to say to the people that are watching us that we all have something to contribute. What I'm very happy about today is that we have spaces that allow us to do that. Correct. You're an IT person. Because you're an IT person, we now have spaces where you can blog. You just open your own blog
and write, put out your thoughts to people. Today we have our phones. You can just get your phone, record a video on a topic that you would want to record. You can also open your own YouTube channel, and so you can actually share content. But many years ago, that wasn't possible. So I think that's what inspired me, just to also contribute to the motherhood story. Some bookshops in Uganda have stocked my books, and one of the main bookshops, which I'll proudly say, Aristoc, when they were giving me feedback on my books, they told me, so we are going to stock Smiling in the Mirror because we have so many books on parenting. So at least let other bookshops stock the parenting one, but for us, we're going to stock Smiling in the Mirror. And I was like, okay, that's good. That means more people are entering that space, and that's a very, very good thing. So there are no excuses to being a poor mom.
You inspire many other people to be able to write out speak about some of these things. You grew up thinking maybe parenting has no manual, but then you start to see books like this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able to see this, you'd be like, maybe I could try this motherhood thing.
And also you get scared because you see when your child is just 20, you imagine, what if they turn 29, 28 and things go wrong and people start judging me. But you see, it's okay for people to also judge you because we are all a work in progress. No one wakes up, I always say, no one wakes up and they are perfect. But we all wake up every day to become better. I think it is Steve Covey in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People who says, sharpen the saw. Yes, he says, sharpen the saw. So every day you wake up, you have to sharpen the saw. So yes, this could be version 1, but maybe there will be version 5 that will have a better, or my daughter will write version 5.
But I inspired your daughter to also
and she says, the scent of her mother, teen edition, according to the latest parent who is, maybe when she's 25, she'll write her own version, in that same title.
Exactly. Beautiful, right?
Nobody knows.
It's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, on X Spaces and Smart 24 TV, that is Charity. A scent over mother. Making your mothering experience enjoyable. Do you sometimes feel like your mother, if she read this, I'm sure she has perhaps 101 times, do you think it felt quite authentic, like she relived the experience, or do you think that was for that generation and now this is us?
This is us. Interestingly, the book is dedicated to her. This book is dedicated to her, but she got so emotional. And so yes, she relived the experience. Her sisters relived the experience. My aunties, when they got their copies, they're like, oh my God. Like, they were seeing this little child. They could not believe that the baby they carried, next year I turned 50. And 50, a whole 50. So they could not believe a child they carried 50 years ago was writing their thoughts, was writing how they think about motherhood. So I think that our parents are reliving some of the memories that we are writing about through us, but many of them have told me that I'm teaching them.
Look at that.
Yet they are in their 70s. They're telling me I'm teaching them how to be a mother. That's the grace of God.
For sure. Interesting. Now, that just reminds me of, still about your mother.
Yes, tell me.
Does it also feel like this could have been a prayer list on your mother? On your mother's list, like one day, Lord, I pray, Charity.
Release yourself. I don't know.
As we get into the subject of today,
of praying.
We need to know right from your mother, because I see you speak of her very fondly.
Yes.
Do you think as you grow into the woman that you becoming, she ticks off her
many points?
Like, that was one of them. That, I'm not sure.
This one I know. I think that, about the authorship, I think it's a surprise. It was a surprise to everybody in our home. When you were there at the launch, the book launch, when we were launching the books, everyone was like, Charity, no. Least suspect, not. In the 4 kids, it shouldn't have been me to launch a book. My sister could have launched a book. My brother, yes. The brother follows my sister. Me and Davis, no, not really. Book, Charity book, no. Why? because my English was not that very, I speak good English, I write good English, I don't like, but when I'm reading a document and it has mistakes, it just disturbs me. But that I was going to be an author, no. But what I'm sure of is that our mother has prayed that we are successful. She has prayed that, she prayed that we make it in school with the best grades. She prayed that we all grow up and get married and get our homes. She prayed that we give her grandchildren. She prayed, she's still praying that we have business ventures that will be successful all over the world. She's praying that we will be world influencers. She has not stopped. She is still praying that our names will be mentioned in nations of the world. And it's not a surprise that I studied in the UK and made my impact there. Then the least suspect now, my sister, who we least expected to show out around the world, she will watch this, I'm sure. She's watching, is the one now in the US, and she has served in the US and the UK. She's served in over 40 countries around the world. Least suspect, but I can assure you it was on my mom's prayer list that I will visit you. I remember she would tell us, I'm going to visit you when you're abroad. I will live in your houses when you're abroad and you're working there, not in funny jobs okay, let me not call them funny jobs, but you know those jobs of students. I want you in very good jobs. And you know, God gave her that opportunity. I think 3 years ago, my sister was able to take both of my parents to the UK for a 2-month holiday. Beautiful. And I could see my mom's prayers come alive. So I agree that most of the things that have happened to us have been an answer to our mother's prayer.
Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching us. These Fat Talks, again, we happen here on Thursday at 4 p.m. And we're talking about praying our children into their destinies.
Yes.
Where we are trying to look at Charity's story with her famous mom.
My famous mom. Who shows up without being known.
Yeah. We're trying to show you the journey of how powerful praying for your child can be. And of course, Charity represents so many of us, you or someone here on Express, that the power of a praying parent, mom or dad, can be quite transforming.
Yeah.
So just right from the mother, now on to Charity. We want to know, Charity or whoever she's representing here at Fat Talks, what strategies have you put, still back to this book, but just as Charity, what strategies have you put to be able to do the same with your children? Because what we share here is the fact that your mother is still praying, means that probably you've also picked that up and now you're pouring it into your kids.
Yes.
And then tell us how that journey is.
How that journey is. So I'll just make it simple and I'll track it back to a childhood experience, which is in my book, I think I wrote about it. But there's a childhood experience where at our church, I used to attend, if you've ever been to Makindye, around, American, that area where there's American club, that nice hill, which has diplomats. There's a church, a Protestant church. So we grew up. And the church used to have family days. So our mom used to take us for those family days. And church was so much fun. After church, we'd do picnics. And they would teach us how to pray, how to read the Bible. Then we moved to Mengo. When we went to Namirembe, now they took us to Bible class. So you don't just pray through words. You pray through actions. You pray through structure. So I could say that the structure that I've created is a structure that was modeled.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And so many parents are picking models. Okay. So that structure was modeled right from my grandparents. So I will not say mom just picked it. For sure. It was picked from my grandparents. They used to have church opportunity. My grandfather was a preacher. Yeah, so they would be at church a lot. And they would find fun at church, that was their fun. Yeah. So they picked that, carried it to their homes, and then they had altars. Like an altar is a place where you join together, pray together, share whatever meal you have together, put on table what is so difficult. Maybe at school, there's this child who did ABCD, maybe I'm struggling with this subject, and then you take it on. So I picked a model which I had seen as a child and took it to my home. Yeah. So what that meant is that we pick activities from church. So I attend All Saints Cathedral. They have pre-planned programs for all ages. So there's no excuse. Yes, every holiday. Now it's even more intense. Every holiday there is a program. So you put a model in there, they fit within a program. A good mother should ask, what were you taught? So you pick a piece of paper. I actually encourage mothers in this book to go to Sunday school. From my firstborn, I used to go to Sunday school because I had forgotten the songs. Father Abraham had many sons. I had forgotten those songs. I will make you fishers of men. I had forgotten those things.
Yeah, so why?
But I used to go to Sunday school, breastfeed from there, from the firstborn, while learning the songs. Then I would see how the teacher is teaching, and I would learn. So you model that until the kids were much older. Then I went back to Big People Church. But so you're saying, how do we bring prayer into the family and take it on to the next level? Because you don't just wake up and pray. So you pick models, work within those models, and then now transfer them to your home. What are the simple tools? There are simple tools that you can use. One of the simplest tools that worked by accident in our home. Pure accident, and I loved the accident. So there was this movie, The War Room. You remember it? Priscilla Shire. So I watched Priscilla Shire. And then she went into the war room. She created a war room. And her firstborn created a war room.
Oh, nice.
She just made her whole bedroom a war room. All the verses I used to teach them. I would teach them verses through songs. I would create a song. Even if it's not there, I just sing it. I create the song in my head so they can learn the verse. I'm like, man, these kids will not know the Bible. I would sing, because children like songs. So I would sing the verse they learn. So all the verses she had learned, she put them on her wall. Then she said, writing, "Dear God, may I be the first in my class. May my parents get money." And she puts on the wall. So what it would do for me, I would go and peep and say, hey, okay. So they are praying for me to get a new car. You get it? So because she's a firstborn, the thing just moved on to the younger people automatically. So I would then say to mothers, even movies, Christian movies. Okay, not everyone is a Christian here, so some people are from the Muslim faith. Whichever faith you're from, find things that are interesting, that will make your child love spirituality. Yes.
Attractive enough.
Yes. If it's a song, if it's coloring. I understood much later. I told you many of the things I've just borrowed from my mom, really. Because the first Bible she bought for me was a yellow Bible. I remember it was called My Book of Bible Stories. Yellow in color, big, with pictures. So I would go to read the story. It had many pictures, so everybody would sit around me. All my sisters would come to peep at these yellow pictures. Then we would get to know the stories. That's what I did. When I became a mom, I also bought colored Bibles and put them there. Before I discovered, before I knew it, every child of mine loves their Bible. But I'm not going to lie you that I sat up, read your Bible, no. They just loved the thing because it had full colors and pictures.
I'm taking colors.
Colors, pictures, just make it fun. The Bible and God and Allah and whoever you pray to is not supposed to be boring. So for us, nothing. Then the other thing we did, DVDs. My home was full of DVDs of Bible stories. So they would sing the stories with cartoons. Even me, I would join and dance when they are dancing. Because when they were younger, that's why I don't grow old. I tell people I'm turning 50, they don't believe it.
I was shocked, but
yeah, because we're always playing. We're always playing with the children. Like, if you enter my house, I'm like a child, a real one.
Beautiful.
A good, nice child who is turning 50.
She's turning 50.
Next year. Ella, call me back.
No,
how do you become 50 and love it? 50 and loving it.
I like it.
That's the title.
Next book coming on. That book.
50 and loving it.
It's beautiful. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully on X Spaces, you can just let us know if you're hearing us and you're also part of our conversation today. Do you know there were several VDs in Uganda? We have some children in boarding schools, so you find parents went for visiting day, or some children came over during the Easter period or even this ED period. So again, why we are talking about this subject is to encourage a parent, dad or mom or auntie or any caretaker, not to give up for that news that was received, whether they called you back at school, whether it was good news. I mean, it's just always good to affirm and to encourage, whether it was daunting news or discouraging. But even at this time of our term, you can still go on and pray for a change or things to change in your child's life, not to give up. So again, you might be wondering, why are we talking about spiritual matters, praying children into their destinies? Stick around, we still have some more in this. Charity Gargaba is our guest for today, special guest for today. And if you haven't caught her book, The Scent of a Mother, Making Your Mothering Experience Enjoyable. I'm going to put stroke daddying experience. Daddying. You know, it's beautiful, and it's beautiful what you share. You remind me of a few Sunday school moments.
You know?
Yeah. I liked what you mentioned, because we do not separate the two. Whatever is happening at Sunday school, you continue it at home, and it becomes a consistent thing for the child to catch, and then they're able to grow in that way.
Yeah.
But now, as a mom, imagine you are having this child, really, they're having a hard time, even with Sunday school. So at the end of the day, you know how we like to say, children go to boarding school, you'll be taken care of, then you come back home and it's a struggle. How do you collect yourself to be able to realize, okay, this is now my responsibility, and as a mom or a dad, I need to get a hang of myself and pray for this child to get where she needs to. I'm looking at you being able to look in the mirror and say, this is my responsibility, and two, what do I need to do in the short time that I have with my child? Because a lot of times, mothers or fathers, we are up and about, but there's one area that you can maximize. The child doesn't have to be there. It can be at night, it can be whenever. So how do you ensure you as a person, say it's a plan or a strategy, you say this is me, and this is what I'm going to do. One, taking it as a responsibility, and two, I'm going to make it a consistent thing on me to be able to pray for John, for Mark, for Sarah, for about this either particular issue. Even if there's no issue, you know your responsibility is to pray the child to where God wants
they're supposed to be.
First of all, tell us destiny. I don't even know what destiny. What do you mean by destiny? How do we know? What if we are praying for our children to be engineers? Is
and
that
they are not
destiny?
supposed
And
to
they are
be.
not supposed to be. So how do you allow it as a parent to know that you're praying or you're speaking words, whatever religion or spiritual that you believe, or you know that you are ascribed to? How do you ensure that you do that? First of all, acknowledge it. Encourage someone to acknowledge that it's their responsibility, but also to pick up their pieces and
do their work.
Do what they need to do. Again, if you read this, some of these things are in there, but it's a privilege to have you share with us.
Them share. Okay, so when I was listening to you, because I also coach people, I have had, I hear 3 questions that you want to ask, although it has ended up as 1. So I'll answer the 3 that I think you would like to hear about. 1 is, how do we know our children's destiny? So that we can be able to shape it.
Beautiful.
That is 1 that I hear you say. Number 2, I hear you say, what if I have prayed, I've put in place structures, but things are not working? How do I pick myself up and still continue parenting? Then the 3rd thing I hear you say is that, what are the simple ABCDs that we can work with? So let me try and attempt to answer that. How do you know your child's destiny? Same way, how do you know your own destiny?
Goes back to
because
the
reverse is true. Sadly, many parents also don't know what they're here for. So now you're asking them to also align the child. Hard paper. But what I'll say is that it's important that we all have a manual to go to. And the manual for Christians is the Bible. For the non-Christians is Quran or whatever it is. Because we are all made by one person, and that person is God. And he created us for his glory. So what does his glory represent? If you are the engineer Your glory is that you should make the best roads, make the best electrical equipment, do the best of whatever it is that you're supposed to do. If you're a chef, when people come to Cafe Javas, you know, people like Cafe Javas and their meals, and they have different meals, and you know, so go to Cafe Javas and do the very best of that particular meal that you're creating, but you're using a particular menu, a particular guideline. Same to us. We are supposed to be served every single day to the world. Picture yourself as a meal. Yes. To make it very easy. Because I want to start from the parent. Yeah. Picture yourself as a meal that is going to be served on the table. Someone behind the scenes is cutting the onions, putting you on fire, and serving you. So there are moments of fire. There are moments of being cut, you know, chiseling, and you know. Yeah, so when we are going through those moments, always know that there is a particular table that I'm supposed to be serving. So when you are growing up, when we are coaching, we use the acronym SHAPE. You need to know your spiritual gifts. You need to know your heart gifts, your passion. What are you passionate about? You need to know your abilities, the things that you do with ease. You need to also know your personality, and finally your experience. Take it to your child now, because you want to know your child's destiny. Now take it to your child. Look at your child. What have they been spiritually gifted with? As a mother, you can tell, this child of mine, when we are praying, they like to pray. Oh, this child of mine, in your children, there are those who are encouragers. For me, in my children, I know the encouragers, I know the prayerful ones, I know the ones who like to just read their Bible. I know.
Maybe it's your intention.
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Just use the acronym SHAPE.
For sure.
Yeah. Use it for yourself, use it for your child. What are my children's spiritual gifts? What are they passionate about? Some of your children like football, others like singing. What are they passionate about? What are their abilities when they go to school? What do they do with ease? What are they able to do? Do they do maths well? Do they do English well? Do they do leadership? Do they debate well? Then now you start saying, okay, so this child of mine, I think if they argue a lot, maybe they want to be a lawyer. You know, not that lawyers argue, but you know, those things, abilities. Then personalities. There are those free personality tests. Take them with your kids. Read about the personality tests and look at your children and say, okay, so this child of mine is a sanguine. My kids are like, me, I'm sanguine, me, I'm melancholy. My kids know. Yeah, me, I'm melancholy. Me, I'm phlegmatic. Then I'm like, okay, so mine know because I talk to them about them. It's been intentional. So find out their personalities, then the experiences, it's you who creates those experiences. How? Through the schools you take them through the church experiences you take them through the people you expose them to. So that I have answered. So how do you know a child's destiny? Use the acronym SHAPE to ask God. Ask God.
Most important.
Ask. We have read about mothers in the Bible. We have a mother, a very good example, Isaac's mom. When she was Isaac's wife, when she was pregnant with twins, and they were fighting in the womb, and they said, this one will be a leader. She had twins, this one will be a leader. They were in the womb and God was already speaking. So get into the habit of asking God, this child you gave me, who are they? And he'll tell you mpola, directly or through people. Then what do you do when you have prayed, you have done everything, but this child is not, things are not working out? I've had two experiences, personal experiences, where we are praying, and of course you expect your child to get excellent marks, and the grades come back and they're not excellent. According to you.
Exactly.
They are not excellent according to you. But remember, they are being served. I told you, you know, I once copied a friend of mine. I have a friend of mine called Jean Mugisha. Jean Mugisha went to Twitter, X Spaces now, but went to Twitter and wrote on her profile, I'm a mother of 3 world changers. I said, Jean, mother of 3 world changers? No. Me, okay, yours are 3, mine are 4. I also wrote on mine, if you go to my profile, I'm a mother of 4 world changers. That statement has disturbed me, because they can't be world changers when they are just jokers who are mediocres. So I'm always saying, you guys, you're world changers, don't joke around. So when the marks are not good, you struggle. So what do? You have to get support. I have aunties who know my children well, so I expose them. go talk to auntie so and so. They come back, we talk. But I tell them, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. These grades don't define you. Yes, we can go back. Yes, we can do it again. Yes, we can get coaching. You get coaching if you need to get coaching. You change schools if you need to change schools. I've had to change schools. The school where my daughter is now, she is under wrap. I have wrapped her properly. I've hidden her. Do you know the same way Moses was hidden by Jochebed? I have hidden Emanuela in a school. I'm like, you girl, the world will meet you one day. Why? I know the gift that is in her. So when she's struggling with her exams, when she's struggling with her books, I'm like, don't worry. The best is going to come out of this experience. She's now mastering what revision means. She's mastering what using your 24 hours means. She's mastering the pain. You know pain of failure? Some people learn pain of failure when they are grown up. They've never failed. Me, no one had ever fired me from a job. I was once fired as a grown up.
As a grown up.
Hey, I looked at the letter, I said, this is my name. Me?
How? Which?
Yeah. They can fire me for doing nothing.
No doubt, yes. If you haven't had that experience before.
No, I had never. I was fought a what? I went in my house, I said, excuse me.
How is
this letter is mine. So now my child for she has tested. Looking at the report, and they said these grades are not good enough, and it is on her name. So me to pick her up and tell her no. The teacher said they are not good enough, but me I say they are good enough. We can do it again. Don't worry. Let's go somewhere else and work harder.
Yeah, I like it.
But the pain.
Yes.
Hey, it's not for the mother. The pain. The child gets when you go in your house, you say, God, what mistake did I make?
How did you pray right?
Should I even go to Fat Talks to talk about shaping destiny? When even me mine, we are still shaping.
Yes. We are in it.
Yes, so you have to realize that good, bad are all parts of experiences which mold us for the world. Now, how do you then, because the third one, because I said you asked me 3 in 1, how do you pray your children into their destiny? I borrowed something from a dear friend. She's called Marjorie. She attends our Mothers Union. I'm a member of Mothers Union, All Saints Cathedral. I send them greetings. I send them greetings. So Marjo told us that for her, she prays, she has a day for every child. I said, Marjo. She said, yes. Monday is for my firstborn, Tuesday, second, third. When they are done, then she starts. Now me, I'm for Friday. Then Saturday is for Daddy. Then now I pray for everyone. Not that I don't pray for other people, but on that day, if it's your day, if you're still in school, I pray for you. If you're now married, I pray for you. So that's how she has. So all of us said, hey, okay, borrowed. Copy paste. Copy paste. I repeat. But also the other model I use. So 1, you can use days. 2, you can use specific verses. There are verses that I have picked from the Bible, which say, I and my children are for signs and wonders. I say, I and Emmanuel are for signs and wonders. I put that one down. So you get particular scripture that speaks to you, and you put it there. Then the other thing that I do is I work with godparents. Okay. I have WhatsApp groups for each child.
Wow.
Yes. And I update. Yes, I have WhatsApp groups for each child. I update. So your godchild has turned 15 today. I put there the photo of how they look like when they are 15. This is what they're asking God for. They didn't perform well at school. Oh, they did very well. Or we are in A level now. Or we are in O level now. Or we have become teenagers. That's what we've been doing for the last, I think, 10 years. Then we also celebrate particular birthdays and call particular people. So when you're 5, it's a major birthday in my house. When you're 10, it's a major birthday in my house. When you're 13, it's a major birthday in my house. 16, 18.
50 is coming.
So we do celebrate all these middle ones, but when you're those particular ages, we put a lot of emphasis on you. Why? Because we're inviting people to
pray,
to join us. So that's how we shape your destiny. We also ask you to tell us, why am I praying for you to be an engineer when you want to be a chief?
Yeah,
you get what I mean? So we also give you the opportunity
to share with us.
To share why,
Praying.
how should we support you? Yes.
I like it.
And if you need extra help outside our home,
Yeah.
and we can offer it, we offer it.
I like it.
Yes. But also our matron has been very helpful, my sister,
Okay.
my young sister.
Okay.
Every holiday, she makes it a point at the beginning of the holiday to call every child. How do you want Auntie Julie to support you?
Oh my.
So you need to find those friends who have, so for me, I have that support. How do you want Auntie Julie to pray with you? Then she keeps her notes and prays for them, all the way from the US. Then at the end of the term, again, when they're going back to school, how was the holiday?
Yeah.
Is everything okay
That's
now?
very supportive.
Yes.
That's
So Auntie, I didn't perform well at school. Auntie, my friends are... Yeah.
I like it. You remind me as you're speaking, I'm reminded, actually I'm getting clarity
Yes.
on what my mother was doing with us. There are those stages where you'd be a bit stubborn.
Yeah.
You've only known auntie one.
Auntie
Then there's
one.
that season when you have 3 aunties
Yes.
around you.
That's the
And
reason.
the role is, man, let's pray into this child. Eh?
Ah.
Beautiful.
So the last one I can say now is you take it a notch higher.
Yeah.
Now the notch higher is my mom. When I call now my mom and my mother-in-law, those two, they are now when I put you in their level now, just know that your destiny has become beyond me now. I say, this child of yours, I see this grandchild of yours. When I see them, I see like they are going to be A, B, C, D. But me, my words are finished.
Yeah.
Please support me.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the support bit.
Support me because it can get heavy. When you are saying, how do you pick yourself up?
Exactly.
Because sometimes you look at the friends of your children and you're like,
how?
These ones.
Yeah.
But now what makes me happy is that our children have ended up becoming, our home is like a church. Becoming a church of the whole village.
Yeah.
So my kids were telling me, so when we go to auntie's home, there is a lot of cooking. At our place we play. At this one, so they've divided the homes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have their own support network. So what happens when they are in our friends' homes? The friends call us. So also when you send children to homes, make sure you as parents, that's another cover.
Yeah.
Yes. So it cannot be that you're the best thing that ever happened to them. No. Yes.
To be other arms.
Yes.
To growth.
Yes. And then when there are camps, make sure that you know the camp leader. So for me, I know the camp leader. So I tell them, hey, so your child is good at this. Your child, by the way, did well. They led Bible study. They led devotional. Do you know they played basketball? Actually, my kids play good basketball. So when they come back, they're, Mommy, I helped the team to win. You know, I helped the team to win. So these kids from Budo, the ones from Gayaza, so they network there. The ones from Gayaza, Budo, they were in our team and we were the best. I scored the most. And I'm like, hey. In my head, I'm like,
yeah.
But she doesn't know that behind the scenes,
there's an army. There's an army, right?
Yeah.
There's an army. Ladies and gentlemen, are you liking the conversation? Let us know on our X Spaces. A lovely conversation, Charity. Thank you so much. Yeah. I know there's a parent out there. I am here. That
We're
you've been
speaking
to. And writing notes for sure. Yeah. Looking at support system. I'm thinking about, wow, building an army around my children. I don't have to carry this by myself in that way. So that's encouraging. Sure. That reminds me of the other people that we have in our home, the house managers, the caretakers. So that means we also have to bring them on board in the manner of, because then sometimes you want something done, then when you leave home, something else gets done. So that means also in your strategy, you have to include your house people or the people, guests that come around and stuff like that. Is that something that you'd encourage?
Yes, when my kids were younger, we used to stay with their aunties and uncles for some time, but the home was ours. So you have to have your own routines. So yes, much as people are in your home, they need to follow your routines and your structure. So even when they are supporting, they should support within what you have created. So as the mother and the father, there is that moment when you say we're going to pray. Remember there are times I never wanted to pray. Like you're mad. Because that time the aunties and uncles were at that very interesting age, you know, when they're just joining campus, what? Then you have little babies. And then you tell them we have to pray because you created the structure, we have to pray. And they're looking at you, they're like, man, you've just been quarreling with us and now you want us to pray. But you know it helped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Discipline.
So now when they're in their own marriages, they're like, man, Charity, you helped us. You know. So of course we need the support of the people in our homes. Because motherhood is actually it's a good opportunity. I tell people it's partnership.
It's partnership. You mentioned that quite a lot.
Motherhood is partnership. You know, when it's Christmas time, we like the story of Mary. When Angel Gabriel is coming to Mary, hey, you have been favored among all women to give birth to the Son of God. Be it unto me according to your word. Huh? That sounds just be it unto me according to your word. But hey, even us we say it be unto me. All the 9 months we carry babies.
Yeah, that's exactly what we.
That's what we are saying.
As long as it has happened, it's like
be it unto me according to your word.
Little sign.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lord. Be it unto me.
So we are like Marys,
that's for sure.
who are carrying God's children. So my dear mothers who are there and fathers, we are partnering with God to raise His children.
Correct. I like it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, why we are having this conversation is for that particular reason. It's first term for most of us in Ugandan schools and schools around. It's first term, but we're encouraging ourselves. You know, the outcry of this generation and all, but there's a way around it, and we can do that through prayer. And the thing about spiritual health matters also affect our mental health. So we cannot separate those two.
No.
So when we're looking at our health matters at Fat Talks or Fidelis, we are not ignoring that aspect, because if our mental health is great, we are able to do all the other things well. That we need to be running around with. That includes parenting, that includes this kind of talk. We're able to deliver as we should. And at Fat Talks, spiritual matters really matters. So thank you, Charity. Again, I'm loving this conversation on X Spaces. Are you loving the conversation? Please let us know. Any contribution, please do chat us up. And if you're watching us at Smart 24, thank you for tuning in, and please do not go away. We are still here with our guest today, Charity Byarugaba. Yeah. Let me show you something else. Up and do what you need to do. Tell us in the mirror briefly what inspired you and how we can tweak this
tweak it into parenting. Okay. I had hoped that I would start from somewhere else. Let me start from somewhere else and end up at smiling. Because you said that spiritual matters are very important in the conversations that we need to have as leaders. I like to when I'm helping people with their coaching and leadership, I like to tell people to look at their wheel of life. When you look at the wheel of life, the wheel of life, there are 8 areas that you're supposed to be measuring at any one time. Of course, people like the traditional ones. They like career, health, finance, relationships, personal life, my fun, my fitness, my fitness, but the one of spiritual, people can forget it. But
Fat Talks, we haven't forgotten.
Yes. So I'm very glad that you're not forgetting it, because when we say that talk is about career, people come very fast, finance, very fast, but the will has got to be balanced.
I agree.
Yeah. So we are not making a mistake to talk about spiritual health. What inspired me to write Smiling in the Mirror? So Smiling in the Mirror, I talk about 10 principles to help you to radiate your essence, and I'm really looking at brightness. You know, I like that verse in the Bible says, you are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. When you are light, you see this light that is giving us support here for people to be able to get a good picture. If it's not there, the picture will not be clear. Maybe they will not see how beautiful your dress is. They will not look at how beautiful your face is. So the principles that we need to bring out our beauty are the ones I talk about here. And so what inspired me really was I really used to say that people are so bright, people are so beautiful, people are so wonderful, but the devil can hide you through circumstances.
Back to destiny.
Yes, through circumstances. Right now, the new budget is about to be read. Man, it can be so depressing. It can be like people in business. It can be so depressing when you're looking at the tax burden. When you're looking at you've brought in a container. I've got a friend who was bringing in a container, and by the time the container was here, they had borrowed so much money. They were not seeing how they're going to make that money again. When you're looking at the school fees burden, when you're looking at feeding your family, when you're looking at if you go to an insurance company and you're trying to plan your education, the education of your children, life can be so hard that you forget. Can you imagine? You forget that you are so good. You forget you're so valuable. You forget that the world needs you. You come to office and you're burdened. I've met people who are burdened. You know, today I had an outburst on the streets of Kampala when somebody did a very unfair practice. You know, these parking people. And that outburst was a few minutes. But because I'm in control of my emotions, I was able to contain myself. But if you meet a typical Ugandan, they can slap you. Do you understand? There's somebody who I think slapped, one time a bus driver almost beat a passenger. And it was life. So this book has 10 principles that help you to get yourself together and enter the room and offer your best to the world. I'll peep a bit for you. I'll peep and share a little bit, pull it out and bring it back to spirituality here. Because you're saying spiritual. The principle that is here that I love the most, I had called it audience of one. Okay. That's what I had called it, audience of one. That you can hide and tell God, 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 these taxation people are killing me. God, help me to get a promotion. Somebody was once telling us that, how are you going to change your finances? You know, finance coaches were telling us about how do you change your finances. One of the ways you can change your finances is getting a promotion. Do you get it? One of the ways. Do your work so well and get a promotion. And so how are you going to do that? Unless one, you've done your work very well. Two, you've upskilled yourself. Three, you've also told God. Because the Bible says promotion doesn't come from the east or from the west, it comes from God. So in this book I talk about the principle of audience of one, which we called anchored up. Why? Storms come, but be anchored. The other one I talk about is treasures of honor. Everyone is a treasure of honor. Yes. Okay. In a bowl. Picture yourself in a jar. And you've been poured in as juice. Take yourself to your breakfast desk. Okay, your breakfast table. And there's that nice juice of the best juice that you like. Maybe apple mango. Apple mango with beetroot or whatever. And it's just on the table. You are the glass where they're going to pour that juice and enjoy. You are that vessel. You are that treasure. But work has to be done for you to get to that level of being used. You know? There's a verse I like in the Bible again which says, show me a man skilled in his work. He will not serve before obscure men. For our children, since we are talking about children and shaping destinies, it is our responsibility as mothers to shape our children to be able to serve in palaces. Show me a man who is skilled in his work. He will not serve before obscure men. You remember those Oholiabs in the Bible? Bezalel and Oholiab, they were someone's child. But they were the best carpenters who were making the wood which was going to be used for the temple. So not every child is going to be a king. Others are going to be carpenters, others are going to be cleaners, others are going to be drivers. But can they be palace material?
Level of,
Me, that's what I want. Spiritual
matter.
Spiritual health, conversations that matter. Can you be able to present a child fit for the palace?
Yes. Yes, that's it.
So these things are hidden here. There is also, there are 10, but I'll talk about 3. There is also the circle of influence. Who is in your circle? Do you have mentors? Do you have coaches? Do you have pace setters? Me, I have my pace setters. One of my pace setters is called Dixon Moshave. This week he released his 3rd book. I said, you pace setter, you're disturbing me. I need to bring my 3rd book out. You know. So who is setting the pace for you? Who is your pace setter? Who is your coach? Who is your mentor? Who is your sponsor? 5 of them, I put them in here. Do you have them? In fact, do you have people on your personal board of directors? Are you aware?
You taught us.
You know, you are supposed to have a personal board of directors.
A support system that helps you stay
on track. Exactly. So you were asking about spiritual health earlier. You're asking about praying. There is no way you're going to pray when you don't have that circle.
Exactly.
So these books are interrelated. This one is for you to be nice, prim, proper, the mother who is ready now to shape their destiny.
Strategic.
There are very many.
To send and show up and do what you need to be doing.
Yeah. In the palace.
In the palace.
Not anywhere.
And presenting a child that should be serving or is.
That's why I like pillars
material.
in the palace.
Yes. Again, the founder of Pillars in the Palace. Thank you, Charity. Powerful stuff.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking your time with us. I'd like to use the same opportunity to thank my mom for praying. I know she prays. I'm still praying even as I'm here. She's not aware I'm here, but she's praying as she is. Such parents, we applaud them for sure. And we need to keep the circles that enable us to stay in that focus of knowing that that is our role, to shape our children into their destinies. Whether we delegate or not, even the delegation should be based on the principles that God has called us to.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful conversation, yeah? Again, just one more time.
One more time.
The Scent of a Mother, making your mothering experience enjoyable. Beautiful book.
Thank you.
Well done and congratulations.
Thank you.
And then, Smiling in the Mirror, the 10 treasured principles to radiate your essence. Ha ha ha. Get yourself one. You will not regret it.
Kalango, I will pay.
You will pay for us.
Yes.
Anyway, so as we try to draw this to a close,
Yes.
I'm thinking of that mother. It's probably okay. I'll also represent the fathers.
That's okay. That's okay.
The mother or the father or the parent. We've already talked about the struggling, trying to maintain your balance, praying. But now I'm looking at your mother who's still praying, and you are still praying.
Of course.
Now, I'm talking about your 20-year-old, and then you said 16?
2018, 16, 10.
How are they doing? When you look at them now in their
where they are in life.
At, do you think they've caught something? Do you think there's something that you know, that has left off as you, the energy, what you put into them? Is that something that you can say?
That one I see.
That one I see. You can move on with that. Should keep you going in a way. Just to, why am I asking you? Because at the end of the day, you know, people have prayed. There's lots of frustrations out there. Yeah. So someone always is asking, I have done this 10 years, 20 years, but I'm not seeing anything coming through, you know. But we close, our eyes get closed to the beauties, you know, the other things that are working out there, so many other things that are going well in a way. So when you look at your child, I'm speaking to a mother who you're probably thinking it's not working out, but there's an element that you may be, that you have passed on to your child. Maybe you're not able to pray to them, but maybe they've caught it themselves. And every time they're not there, maybe they can actually stand in the gap, and you've seen them flourish in that way. Like the hours you spent in Sunday school, they pay off. The hours you've spent at your altar or praying, or when you enhanced with your aunties and uncles, have you seen the fruits come through children? And as a mom, how do you celebrate that?
Okay.
Or how do you know it?
How do you know it? Okay, so I think that you're just trying to say that how do we check both ourselves and our children in terms of how they are performing so far. I'm going to change it a little bit again, because I do a mastermind called Die Empty. And I always tell people that every single day we need to unleash our best work. So for me, I think that what you're asking me now is that, am I happy with the work I have done as a parent? Of course I'm happy, and I'll tell you why, even if I died today.
Amen.
Yeah, because we will die at one point. Yeah, so if God decides to take me home today, those children will make it in life, in all the 8 spheres of the wheel of life. Of course, for the children, we use 7 Fs. Yeah, and when you do your leadership for the children, please take them through the 7 Fs tool to help them with balancing their lives, getting a balance of their life. So we do the 7 Fs a lot. Yeah, family, friends, fitness, faith. I'll remember them. But anyway, the tool is online. You can get it. So when I do that 7 Fs with them, I'm happy with where they are at. Of course, they can do better at their education, and that's what we are working on now, because we have agreed that we need to be the best in whichever line that we are going to be pursuing. So I'm happy on that front. What I have also prepared myself for is that the enemy is not happy.
Yes.
And so because I'm aware that the enemy is not happy and he can hit at any one time, I'm always building a wall of protection around them. So as you celebrate while putting a wall of protection. Celebrate while putting a wall of protection. Why? Because the enemy is never happy. And that's why he throws all manner of things at us. We've not talked about technology and how it's affecting our children. We've not talked about drugs and how it's affecting our children. So as a parent, we need to prepare ourselves that it can come in any direction. So celebrate, put a wall. Celebrate, put a wall. But also prepare that you can sign out. Should you sign out, make sure that every day you have done your best as a parent. So choose to die empty.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's how I'll end.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure hosting you, Madam Charity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Those watching us at Smart TV, Smart 24, thank you for taking the time to watch and listen in and contribute. We appreciate you for sure. Please join us at Fidelis. This coming holiday, we'll be having a children's leadership training. We'll have that coming through with the dates and the venue, of course. Again, it's a pleasure hosting you. Greetings to your mom. Greetings to my mom too.
Greetings to our parents.
Praying into my destiny. It's working with faith. Anyway, thank you, and see you next Thursday when we'll have another conversation at Fat Talks. Thank you.